Hello. So I said I'd go live around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's 10:37 and I'm finally going live. Yeah, but I am here live. I am going to share this video a couple of places and be ready to talk in just a second. So I'm going to try to talk while I do this. I don't know how many of you know this. It depends on if you've been watching all the videos or not. And I don't think everybody's watching all the videos. I think you're watching what's relevant to you, which is exactly what you should be doing. But I am living in a rental right now. We decided to remodel our old house and the one that we own. And then kind of along the way decided what we really wanted to do was sell it and buy a new house that will be bigger. So, man, the internet is slow. Of course it is, because I decided to go live. So I am now trying to figure out how to sew and have all my cool stuff, including my projector, at the rental. So that's what I'm doing right now. I did bring my, here, let me just go ahead and post this. All right, it's been posted to my Facebook page at least. So we are now trying to figure out how to get things here at the rental. So my projector, if you can see right there, got moved over today. Awesome. The cutting table has not yet because my husband's truck is in the shop and my car is full of car seats. And so we can't lay them down and get them. I don't even, if we could even, I don't think it would fit. So my cutting table is still there. But hopefully it comes this weekend. And so I am going to try to get it accurate enough to cut. I actually want to do a couple projects, but this is a very uneven table. So I'm not real sure how things are going to go. But I can at least get it kind of close. And then hopefully that helps whenever the cutting table actually gets here. So I thought I would film the process, and I was not up to filming and editing and all of those things. So this live video is how we're going to take care of it. All right, so here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is open my file from Projectors for Sewing. Sasha created it, and she does such awesome things for us. And actually, she just made a new one. So because I am wholly unprepared for this, I am going to go look for the very new calibration grid and use that one. So that can be found in the group Projectors for Sewing. In the announcements, there's some really awesome information there. And excuse me. And one of the things that Sasha, who is amazing, has done is created several things to make it really easy to follow her instructions and calibrate your projector, no matter what projector you have. Which is a really big undertaking because there are a lot of different variations of projectors that you could have. All right, so, now I've got the guide, which is also new and improved. Where is the actual calibration grid? Oops, I think it's the same thing. Give me a second. What could you actually do for a live video? Be prepared. That would be important, right? Sorry. I am reading through the What is this called? Oh, here it is. Setup and calibration guide. Quickly, I was just sort of browsing through so that I could get to the actual grid that I was looking for. So we have that now. I'm going to download a copy of the rectangles grid. Maybe. Here we go. I'm going to save it in my Google Drive. That's where I save everything. And on a computer, it's super easy. And there it goes. All right, so I am hopefully still talking to you, even though I've put my minimized my window. The light's still on, so I'm going to go with yes. And I am going to open the file I just downloaded. Now, I know you can't see my screen. I have to do this on my computer because I don't have a big enough channel to do it with my iPad or anything. And so I also can't show you my screen as I'm doing, like my channel's not big enough. So yeah. So it could be difficult, but I'm going to do my best. So I have the setup and calibration guide open. I've done this several times before, so I'm not necessarily going to read through it, but I've downloaded the rectangles grid so I can use that as my calibrating device. I promise this will make more sense in a second. And I am going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to plug my cable into my computer. Probably went a little janky for a second. I don't have my remote. I do have my projector, so I'm going to turn on the projector. Oh, this is definitely a make. This is the Slim Raglan by Patterns for Pirates, and the fabric came from Knittorious, and I love it. All right, so my projector remembers that I like to have it extended, or my computer remembers that I like to have my projector extended, and so it's already over there with the extended desktop. Here, let me see. Let me get you over there. I really didn't think, I thought that I could use my iPad to do this. And since I could not, I'm not sure how this is going to work using my computer. Let's see if we can. Not very well. All right, I'm going to clear off this table. So my projector, when we mounted it, in order to avoid making more holes than necessary in this rental, we have it kind of low. And it's perfectly acceptable, but it's just smaller than it was before. But it is totally fine. It's going to completely work. But this, sorry about that, is a problem. The table is quite wobbly. So let's see what we can do with a wobbly table. All right. Opening up my calibration grid and putting it on the side of my screen. Cool. want you to go big over there. There we go. So I'm going to pick this up and show you. Maybe if you can see that. It's way off, right? For example, the box that says 18 by 18 is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 inches. So it's roughly half what it should be. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I am going to start by worrying about is seeing if I can get my surface just a little bit more level, and then seeing if I can get my corners square, which actually, they don't look half bad. So we're going to try that. Since this is temporary until my cutting table comes, I'm going to, I just had a thought. Hold on. If you're wondering why I do everything late at night, it's because the children are asleep. And then I can steal things like their high chairs without them being upset. Hold on, trying to get my laptop plugged in. I'm going to have to move this way a little. Sorry. This is very riveting content, I'm sure. All right. Hey, maybe that's somewhat doable. All right. I can see extremely clearly what is on here. I am sure y'all can see nothing. Let's use some school books. I'm going to prop this up a little and see if that helps. Well, that's better. All right. Now don't chip on any of the cords, Bradley. Because this is very temporary, this table, I am going to use paper to try to even out the surface a little bit. That way I can move it just a little at a time. I'm not going to ruin the paper by putting it here. It can still be useful later. And I can, it's very incremental because they're such, they're pieces of paper, you know? They're very thin by themselves. That way. Okay. There's still a little dip there, but it's less. Let's add a few more sheets. You know what I need? I need to fold one. Because I need some more just at the very edge. I think that's actually 2. But cool, whatever. There. Okay. Now, I can still feel a little hump there, but it's a lot better than it was. Now the problem is the whole thing, the entire thing is kind of like this. There's not a lot I can do about that. But at least there's not that one really big dip. Okay, so to recap. This is a cutting table that I'm only using for a very short amount of time, hopefully just this week, but I want to try to make it work. So I used paper to try to even out how wobbly this surface was. It does appear to help over there, but there's still very much a noticeable dip here. So I guess I am going to try a little bit to see if I can even that out, although I have my doubts. And then this paper can also go through the printer for other things, for school stuff, I guess, probably. Not for sewing anymore, except for the pages that I folded, which my kids can color on, so no big deal. And the reason I am doing this ridiculous thing right here is because I need my surface to be flat, as flat-ish, so that I can get my calibration right. No, that was not a good plan. That was too far that way. Scoot this over. All right. Is that better? All right. There is still a dip, a very noticeable dip, but it's better. This is a table that my great-grandfather made very cheaply out of very cheap plywood. And it's really cool because it has two huge leaves. So it can be, what is that? 6 inches wide against your wall. Then you can flip out the two leaves and it's really big, almost 36 inches. So it's cool. It just isn't great for this, but it's what I have right now. All right, so something that I know how to do with the remote, I don't have the remote, so I'm going to try to do with the menu here, is put it at the test pattern. So if you go in Epson, mine is in Epson 410. If you go to settings, menu settings, and then test pattern, oop, that was not it. Enter. It gives you this, it looks like a targeting computer kind of thing. It's a big crosshair in the middle. And I can use this to kind of shift my mat and try to get things lined up well, horizontally and vertically, which could be my mat being the problem. It could also be, or I mean, I guess it could be my surface that would be making things uneven, or it could be a projector. Although the projector seems really well put together right now. All right, so I've got that test pattern here, and it's helped me line up the center horizontally and vertically. Not quite. I'm several inches off, actually. There's the center, that way. There we go. All right. So I'm lined up horizontally and vertically the best I can. There is a bit of distortion, but if I push on the table, you can see, maybe you can't, I can see that the problem is my wobbliness, not my projector. The projector is actually looking awesome, awesomely straight. So I'm going to exit, I'm going to push escape to get out of the test pattern. It's going to take me back to this. It's going to wobble around because I had to push it on there. And I'm going to grab a quilting ruler. And a blank sheet of paper. I know we all got projectors to not have paper, but a blank sheet of paper is one of the best tools for calibrating and for using your projector whenever it is difficult to see. I really love just having a blank sheet of paper around, and it's very helpful because the projection shows clearly on it. All right, so in this case, my projection shows fairly clearly on my mat. I just don't want to be clouded by the grid lines on my mat. I'm just going to use this quilting ruler and line up to make sure that my corners are all square. That one is. That one is. And the quilting ruler just helps me do this without having to move the image around to line it up with the mat. See, this one is slightly off. It is square at the corner, but then it veers off slightly, but that's 100% because there's a hump right here. And that one is good. So don't have to touch my keystone at all, which is amazing. You want to do as much physically as you can to move your projector to get the keystone correct, and as little as possible digitally. So I don't need to touch mine at all, which is awesome. I kind of figured I would have to a little bit. I guess we've gotten really good at mounting the projector. This is the third time we've done it. And I hadn't messed with that at all. My husband hung it, but we didn't do any of that other stuff. So now I just need to find my zoom percentage. So now I gotta touch the computer. Now before, my zoom percentage was 28.5. But I moved my projector, right? It's not the exact same distance from this cutting surface as it was at the old house. So it's not going to be exactly the same. By the way, this is a different mat than you've seen me use before. I have two. This is my not so favorite one. But it works. I am pushing down on the table a little bit where it's funky because I was trying to see if that would help, and it does. So actually, I need to increase my zoom percentage a little bit. I've got my center squared up beautifully, but it's not quite right. So let's go to 30 and see what happens. I'm going to line that up again with the 12 and the 18. Get things nice and centered. I am really, really close. It's still just a hair too small. I'm going to do 30.2 and see what happens. This is riveting stuff, I'm telling you. Okay, still slightly too small. I'm going to do 30.5, and hopefully that gets it. The poor soul that is still watching, bless you. But seriously, this cannot be super exciting to watch. Okay. I think I need to increase just a bit. So I have my center squares pretty close. And actually, maybe I don't. Now I need to read my bigger squares and see where they're falling. So this one is supposed to be 24 inches across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And it is. It's actually just a hair too big. So I'm going to actually bump this back down. I'm going to do, well, maybe, 30.3. Very hard to tell with this very wobbly table. I knew that was going to be a problem, but we're doing the best we can. Okay, so yes, that is, and especially if I push down on my table to get it squared up, that's looking pretty good. It's not looking as good right here because there's a big bump, but the far outsides of the box are correct. Yep. And then the next, I can see the next one is 6 inches bigger, which is what it should be. I just don't know what. So it's by 30, yeah. So now let me look at the up and down. Maybe. Where are we supposed to be? There we go. Let's look at the up and down. So this one should be 12 up and down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it is. On both sides. Here, it's a little bit not quite lined up, but again, this is where things are real funky. So I'm feeling really good about this. I am not going to sew something, and the closer I get here, the worse this distortion gets. So I'm not going to sew something super precise, like the gala gown that I made recently. I'm not going to try to sew that right now. I don't want to sew something that, you know, is something that I've worked really hard on and I really want to be fitted exactly right. My kids have been asking me to make some doll clothes. So I think I'll work on that. I can, number one, use this part that's better calibrated more. And number two, it doesn't matter quite so much if it doesn't fit. And then there's some pegs that I want to make for myself. So I'll have to do some inventive placement of where I cut out from, kind of try to keep things up here. I could move this now. That would make my life easier. I'm going to try to keep it kind of up here so that I don't have to, fight with where it's all messed up down here. But this weekend, I should get my cutting table here. I'll run through this again really fast. Probably won't go live or record it at all. Hopefully I'll have to change the zoom percentage because everything else should be fine. It's nice and square. And I'll figure out the exact zoom percentage that I need then. And I will be able to just start cutting stuff out, which will be amazing. And then I can really work on the stuff that I want to do. We are homeschooling. That's homeschool stuff behind me. And that's going to be in this room. That's not going to change anytime soon. Not while we're living at this house. So hopefully next time I show you guys this, it'll be rearranged a little bit. It'll have the rest of my stuff from my craft room here, and I will be able to really work on the things I want to work on and maybe be able to get back in the swing of things and do some more editing. I've got videos recorded that I just haven't been able to edit and get out. And it's just very hard right now with things in many places. So hopefully that will be all cleared up pretty soon. All right, guys, thanks for tagging along and sticking through this crazy video that was kind of boring, actually, considering I didn't have to do any adjustments. I will show you quickly that what would happen if I did need to do adjustments. So I would need to mess with the mount itself and loosen it up, turn the projector until it was right so that the corners would be square. But the calibration guide is awesome. It runs you right through all of that. And the grid that Sasha made us is wonderful. And it's exactly what I used for this. The newest one is called Rectangles with Grid Calibration Tool. And then it will either say Imperial or Metric, depending on what you're using. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. My channel has been doing amazing, even though I've been hardly doing anything. And that's because you guys are awesome and Projectors for Sewing group is awesome. And so thank you all. I hope you get your projector set up, and definitely ask in the group when you have problems. Post pictures, ask. We all try really hard to be helpful. And Sasha especially is just amazing. Seriously. We need to figure out how to pay that woman because she does such amazing things. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. If I can figure out how to end this video. Hold on. There we go. All right. Bye.